shoulder. It's like you're like a friendly vegan pirate. If there is such a thing, all you need is the eye patch and it would be like perfect. That'd be a great thing for Halloween. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Chef AJ Live. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and this is where I introduce you to amazing people like you who are doing great things in the world that I think you should know about. Well, welcome to today as day 3 of the Main Street Vegan Academy week, where each week we feature one of the over 500 graduates from this wonderful academy that was founded by Victoria Moran. And each day, one of her graduates is doing a wonderful cooking demo, and I will have her introduce today's guest.
Why, thank you so much. And I'd like to introduce the other guest as well on my shoulder. This is Thunder. Thunder is a rescue pigeon. My daughter does wildlife rehab when she's not touring for theater. And so the Thunder came into our lives. And when she went off on tour, he needed a home. So he's blind in one eye and has to be an indoor pigeon. But we go out in the summertime in the courtyard, and he has a pretty good pigeon life. So that's Thunder, and it's really fun to be introducing my wonderful Academy graduate. Just before we went on, AJ said that because of having Thunder on my shoulder, I look like a pirate, and that would be kind of a cool stick. But you know, we actually have a Main Street Vegan Academy graduate, and that is her stick. Her name is Kitten the Juice Pirate. At least that's her name online. She lost a huge amount of weight in the neighborhood of 300 pounds. And so she now is out there doing her thing as a pirate. And why that is relevant for today is that Jaré Cervantes, our wonderful guest, who's going to do this great sushi recipe in a minute, also has a very clever kind of shtick like that, in that she and her husband get the word out about healthy plant-based living inspired by superheroes. Is that cool or what? So the company is called Heroic Strength. She and her husband Saul are together in that. He's a strength coach, and she is a Main Street Vegan certified plant-based vegan lifestyle coach and educator. She's also a plant-based nutrition and lifestyle coach. She's a wonderful baker, a fitness enthusiast, and a dog mom. And so when they work with people, they make it fun and they make it happen with effective home and gym workouts and delicious recipes like you're going to be getting today. So I'm just going to turn it over to Jaré Cervantes. Happy cooking.
Yeah, thank you, Victoria. Thank you so much. And thank you, AJ, for having me on. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. I'm very excited. Yeah, as I said, I'm Jaré, and I do plant-based nutrition coaching. And my husband is a personal trainer. We team up and we just help people get healthy in a way that works for them. You know, there's so many diets out there that have these strict rules. And, you know, those don't work for everybody. So we like to come in and kind of customize things so that people can do it in their own way and figure out how to incorporate those healthy habits into their lifestyle. So that's very important for us.
That's great. That's great.
So today I'm going to show you guys how to meal prep. And to do that, we're going to make a deconstructed sushi bowl. Meal prep is so important for staying on track. It eliminates the excuse of, oh, I don't have time, I'm just going to order takeout. Because with meal prep, you can literally put a meal together in like 5 to 10 minutes, and it's balanced, it's nutritious, it's filling. So it just really helps to be prepared with these meals ahead of time. That way you're eating all the right things and it's so much easier.
Great. Well, I can't wait. I'll be putting it in right now I'm doing the show notes and I'll get all the recipe and everything in there.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, I also gave a link to the meal prep guide. So I should be in the show notes, but it's a little meal prep guide to show you kind of what to cook in bulk, because part of meal prep is cooking large batches of things like rice, you know, having these things on hand. So you have like rice, beans, high protein foods like tofu. So that kind of guides you in getting started with that.
Nice. And if you have a chance, we'd love to hear your story and how you became vegan, when and why.
Yeah, sure. So let's see, I've been vegan for 5 years now. And it kind of happened, I think I was always meant to be plant-based or vegan because my mom was vegetarian. So I would hear from her oh, I don't eat animals because, I love animals and I just can't do that. So we had a lot of vegetarian meals growing up in my house. And then in college, I learned about factory farming. So I was kind of bothered by it at that time. And then I got into bodybuilding with my husband, and we were eating more meat than either of us had ever eaten in our lives. Like just meat 4 times a day, so much meat, eggs, like all these things. And, we were looking good and building muscle, but after a while, I just felt something was off, and my digestion was bad, and, it was just not good. So something had to change. And what happened was my husband actually tore his Achilles tendon, and his surgeon suggested that he give up animal products to speed up his recovery process to lower the inflammation. So he's like, okay, I'm going to give up meat for like a week, see what happens. And he did. He felt amazing, and he decided to keep going. So we were kind of vegetarian for a little bit, and then we started learning more about like dairy and just, factory farming in general, the animals, the environment, and the health benefits too. That was huge for us because we care a lot about our health. And then learning that all these things we were putting in our body could lead to, cancer, heart disease, all this meat we were eating. It freaked me out. Cancer runs in my family. So I was like, okay, that's it for me. So gave up meat. And then a few months later, I gave up dairy as well. So
who is this wonderful surgeon that suggested this? I'd like to know.
Yeah, he put my husband's Achilles back together, and he healed so quickly. 6 months, he was running again, and that's pretty fast for injuries like that.
Yeah. So did he have surgery on it?
He did. Yeah.
Wow. But like I said, is the surgeon plant-based? Because I still think it's extraordinary that he recommended no animal products for healing. You don't hear that a lot.
You don't. I'm not sure if he was plant-based. I never got to talk to him about that. And that was before we were. So not sure, but obviously he knows something good.
Well, follow up with him and tell him I said thanks.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that's kind of how it started. And kind of plant-based led me to also, I'd always been interested in eating healthy. But this kind of took things to a new level. So I was like, wow, I'm nourishing my body with all these amazing foods. I'm eating more carbs than I ever have before. And AJ, you know how amazing carbohydrates are.
Yeah.
So I just felt great. And I just wanted to share this with so many people. And so that's what led me to becoming a plant-based nutrition coach and going to the Main Street Vegan Academy where I met Victoria. So yeah, that's what kind of led me down this path. And here I am.
It sounds like a fantastic recipe.
Yeah. So what we're going to make today is a deconstructed sushi bowl. I like to so I work with clients to, for weight loss, getting healthy, getting fit. And I like to give them meals that kind of are based off of foods and flavors they already like. So I'm like, okay, what kind of cuisines do you like? Let's kind of make some meals with those flavors. And I just think that's really important to stay on track too, especially if you're getting introduced into this lifestyle. It is so important to enjoy what you're eating, but also keep it really simple so that it's not too complicated. It's so easy to get overwhelmed with like recipes and, all these things. There's so much information out there, but if we keep it simple and nutritious, it's so much easier to stay on track. So the sushi bowl came about because a lot of clients that I've come across, and also I think a lot of us, sushi is like, oh, let's go out for sushi. It's amazing. So I was like, well, let's put that in a bowl and make it a meal that's healthy. So that's how that came about. So it's basically just rice, tofu, edamame, and some amazing toppings. So first we're going to get started with the tofu. So I like to use high protein tofu right here. This is extra firm. It stays together much better than firm or even the softer tofus. So it's very easy to cook and very easy to flavor. So we're just going to cut this up and drain it. And a lot of tofu recipes, they call for oil and frying, but you really don't need that. You just need a good pan.
Just so you know, we can't see your hands, just in case you want to.
Oh yeah.
Great.
I'm just cutting it open right now, kind of getting the water out. Okay, so there we go. And you want to press all the water out. So we're just going to wrap this in a paper towel and just press it. You can get one of those fancy tofu presses, that's fine. But all I use is a paper towel, just kind of soak it up like this. There we go. And you can cut this into any size that you like. Cubes or strips work just fine. Okay, so we have it here. All right. And we're just gonna slice it into strips. So you can kind of see it's like, like a good cube, right? You can slice it in smaller squares if you like, but for me, it's just faster to cook it this way. That way you're not flipping all these little cubes. So it's much faster.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's almost like tofu fingers.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, so Stacy has a question. Do you require your clients to eat all plant-based while they're working with you, or do you just focus on whatever you can teach them along their vegan journey?
That is a great question. I am plant-based myself. I like to encourage everybody to eat plant-based, whether you eat animal products or not, because plant-based essentially means that most of your diet is coming from plant foods, which we all need. We all need those nutrients, those vitamins, those minerals in our diets. And so whether you include animal products, that's fine, but everybody should be eating fruits and vegetables, grains, and proteins and beans, legumes. Those are often left out of the standard American diet. So all of those foods are so important to include in your diet. And then, if you want to throw some meat in there, some eggs, that's your choice, right? But for my clients, I show them how to make most of their meals from that are plant-based, and then we choose our protein source. So if they still want to eat chicken, fine. Put that in your salad, your grain bowl, your burrito bowl. That's up to you. But I find that my clients are pleasantly surprised about the plant-based options that I give them. Like, I've turned many people onto tofu, seitan, tempeh, and they're just really surprised. Like, wow, I feel really good with this. I like it. It also teaches them to have more variety. I think with like a standard American diet, we forget about having variety. So just because you eat animal products doesn't mean that you can't have some tofu once in a while, right? It's not just a food for vegans, it's for anybody. So for me, plant-based options increase the amount of variety in your diet. And that is so important for overall health, your gut health. And it makes it more fun. It opens your world up to so many more foods too.
I love that. Tofu, it's not just for vegans anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to flavor the tofu. So tofu gets a bad rap for being plain. You have to flavor it just like you would with meats. With meats, you marinate, you season. Same thing with tofu, tempeh, etc. So I found this great seasoning from Trader Joe's. It's a vegan chickenless seasoning, but you can use any all-purpose seasoning you like, garlic, salt, and pepper. But be liberal with it. It needs some good flavor. So
yeah, I agree with you. It's like when people say I hate tofu. How do you hate it? It has no taste. It's like saying I hate water. There's no flavor in tofu.
Exactly. And it's really good at soaking up any flavor you give it. So you can marinate it, make a sauce for it. It's really a blank slate. So I'm just sprinkling this all over every side of the tofu. I don't really have a measurement. I just kind of go for it and rub it in. And if you're looking to go more plant-based, just look for ways to like swap out your protein sources. So instead of chicken, have tofu. Instead of steak, have seitan. They're very similar in textures and the dishes that you can make with them too.
Yep. And I found out from a previous guest that like for people like me that are allergic to soy, you can get tofu made out of hemp seeds. It's called hemp fu or something like that.
Did they say? I haven't tried it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and pumpkin seeds, and it's called pump fu. They have it at Clark's, so that's kind of cool for people that can't have soy.
Yeah, they're coming out with so many options now. It's great. I mean, I'm just so impressed with all the plant-based options that are coming out in stores that I've seen. Ralph's, which is our, standard grocery store here, has their own plant-based line. There's so many more options even when I went than when I went vegan in 2015. It's just like exploded. So it's awesome. Okay, so I have my tofu ready to go. We're also gonna steam some broccoli, and I have edamame in here as well. You can kind of see that. I just get the shelled edamame in the frozen section. And that is a great legume to have. It adds protein. It has some healthy fats in there, so it's great. And we're just gonna steam this over some water for a few minutes until it gets defrosted and the broccoli gets tender.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so I'm using my skillet pan for the tofu. You can see that. And you really don't need oil for that. It cooks the tofu very nicely. It gives it a nice golden brown color. You can also use a non-stick pan, or you can bake the tofu also in the oven. That just takes a little longer, but.
Hey, have you ever tried an air fryer? It's pretty quick.
I don't have any more space in my kitchen, but I do would love to try one of those. It seems like a great device. You can just make, fries, sweet potato fries, tofu. I mean, it's amazing. Do you have one of those, AJ?
I do. I love it. I use it almost every day. I have the Breville and I also have a small one. It's so quick and it crisps things up and it's delightful.
Oh man, how long does it take to?
Oh God, tofu probably take in that size. I don't know, 10 minutes, I would guess.
Wow.
Yeah, if you cut it into cubes, for sure.
That's great. Yeah, it sounds good. I've tried it before and it tastes delicious. So that's another option too. So in the meantime, we have all these toppings. So you can choose from, any toppings you like. I've got, cucumber here. We just want to add a lot of color, which makes it very visually appealing and also more nutritious. I've got some shredded carrots. I've got some greens. So if you want to bulk up the meal a little bit more, it is filling already, but if you want to add even more to it, you can add some mixed greens. It tastes delicious with it. It becomes like this big, giant salad. It's really good. I also have some ginger, some pickled ginger. And that's something kind of makes it more sushi-like, because in the sushi restaurants, you get the ginger. This also kind of emulates the raw fish that you would normally put on sushi. It has that pink color. And then I have some green onion and some lime. Okay. So we'll put on those all afterwards.
Neat. Yeah, lime. I love lime on everything. It can even be salad dressing. Lime is so good.
It's delicious. Yeah. It really just brightens up the flavors of everything. Curries. I mean, any salad you're gonna have, anything.
Oh, we got a nice compliment from Monica. She likes your hair and your posture. Posture is very important.
Oh, thank you. It is. Yes, posture is very important.
Yeah, I don't know why people are typing in the chat that you lost 300 pounds. I don't think that's part of your story.
Oh, I think Victoria mentioned someone else because of the pirate comment.
Yeah. We get our pirates confused on this show.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
No, that's not me. But even I've struggled with my weight, way back in college. I gained a freshman 15, eating badly, drinking. I mean, we all go through that stage, I think. And just going through that frustration of not knowing how to keep it under control, how to keep it off. And then just struggling with diets that are telling you eat less, exercise more. And that's how I became so passionate about what I do, is because I wish I had someone like me back then to kind of guide me. So it's really tough.
I don't know if you can answer this question because Victoria had to leave to do her podcast, but the question is Main Street Vegan Academy in person or do they have online classes? JL wants to know. And Victoria is the guest on Sunday, so she can answer all your classes. But in case you know, I thought I'd ask.
I do. Yeah, I do know. So before the pandemic, she had them all only in person. And it's in her beautiful apartment in New York City. So when I went out there for the week. And it was an amazing experience. I highly recommend doing it in person. However, the pandemic kind of forced us all to adapt. So now she does classes on Zoom.
Nice. Betty says, can you put the tofu in a George Foreman grill?
That's a great question. I have not tried that, but I would think maybe if you slice it really thin, but it might be too heavy for the tofu and like squish it, because tofu is a little bit softer than like chicken. You could try it. I don't see why not.
Yeah. And Roberta says, what kind of skillet do you have?
This is just a cast iron skillet. It cooks very easily. It cooks things really nicely. It's good to have, high quality cooking equipment, especially pans, pots and pans, knives. I mean, you want to have good equipment in your kitchen because that helps you cook better.
That is true.
Yeah. So the tofu is still cooking right now. Okay, almost done.
Here, Stacy says, you mentioned drinking as part of weight gain in college. Do you recommend your clients cut out alcohol while you work with them? I do. Well, question wasn't for me. So
yeah, you can. If it does help you stay more on track. However, if you are trying to make this a lifestyle, over time, you're going to have those celebrations and parties, and an occasional drink here and there, it's not going to hurt you in terms of your weight. There's, various research out there as to how healthy it is. Especially recently, I've been hearing that even one drink is not good. But, a glass of wine, liquor, beer, whatever it is that you like, just keep it under control. You're not going to want to have several drinks, especially with all the sugary mix-ins like sodas and juices. Those can really throw you off. But if you keep it simple, like straight wine, if you sip on like a good tequila or a good whiskey, that's going to be lower in calories than, a margarita, say. So you just gotta have to account for those calories. And if you're doing it for weight loss, again, one drink a week is not going to hurt you. Yeah, so with my clients, I recommend just keep it to like one drink a week.
yeah. Easy to say, hard to do for people that like that stuff, or poison, in my opinion. But you're right I've just interviewed so many doctors for the summit, and very few of them are for alcohol, just for that reason. They're talking about how just one drink linked with breast cancer. And that's why the World Health Organization says they no longer recommend any amount of alcohol as safe. So I'm much more of a straight edge vegan, but that's okay.
No, that's fine. And again, it depends if you're just losing weight just to get the weight off, or if you're also concerned for your long-term health. So there's different reasons you're going to do it. It comes down to like finding your why, and if you're going to consider all the health aspects that go into it.
Question: if you treat your skillet?
It's kind of newer, so I think it is good to, I don't know. I haven't really done that. I haven't needed to do that, I guess. But I've heard you can do some like oil, or there are ways to treat it, but I haven't had to do that yet. Okay, so my water's boiling, so I'm gonna go ahead and steam the broccoli and edamame.
Were you in the same week of any of the graduates we're having on the show this week?
Yes, Stacy, your guest on Monday.
Nice.
She's actually my partner for Main Street Vegan. We had like buddies that we talked to ahead of time to kind of get familiar. And yeah, she was my buddy.
Very cool. That's so cool.
Yeah. Okay, so with the tofu, we're looking for this nice golden brown color. You can kind of see it there. If the tofu is not flipping easily, it's not done yet. So let it cook for a little bit longer until you get that nice crust. Ooh. And if you have a bigger pan, you can do like 2 blocks of tofu at one time and do like a bulk batch.
Well, it definitely sounds good. I can hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing I like about the air fryer is I don't have to babysit it. It won't burn, you know?
Yeah, I just cook it and it's done. Yeah. Okay, in the meantime, we're gonna put our rice in the bowl. Okay, so in the meantime, you could be cooking your rice. I already have mine done in the interest of time. But I cooked a big batch of rice in my Instant Pot. This guy, highly recommend. You can cook so many things in here. You can do soy yogurt, you can do stews, beans, rice. Amazing, all in one device. Okay, so one tip that I have for you guys when you're cooking your grains is let them sit for about 15 minutes so they can settle, and then you're gonna fluff them with a fork, and that'll get it real nice and fluffy and separated. So you don't wanna take it out of the pot too soon. A couple of things I recommend for meal prep too, real quick. Are containers. You can have glass or plastic. These are just little plastic ones. And these are going to be really helpful for dividing up your meals, so you have them ready in the fridge. Another thing you're going to want to invest in, these are very inexpensive, you can get them on Amazon, is a food scale. And this will just help you weigh things like your tofu, even your rice. I weigh my rice, or you can do measuring cups. So really important to have these tools if you're trying to stick to a certain amount of calories or your meal plan. You have to have the right tools. Okay, so I'm gonna measure out a cup of rice here. There we go. Put that in the bowl. There we go. And you can season that if you like. And then if you're doing meal prep, you're also gonna put the rice in these two containers. So the recipe I included, it makes 4 servings. So you can kind of divide those up evenly into your containers.
What do you eat in a day?
Oh, let's see. I usually start with oatmeal. And then when it's summertime, I do like a smoothie bowl. Sometimes I have a rice bowl. Just depends what I'm feeling like for that day. And then for lunch, I'll do like rice, tofu, vegetables. And then for dinner, maybe some pasta, or love cooking potatoes. Oh my gosh. So my husband and I will bake a bunch of potatoes on a sheet pan. And we love the Japanese sweet potatoes, the purple ones. They are delicious. We bake those, we slice them up, put cinnamon and salt, and they are just absolutely delicious. I don't have any right now, but because we eat them all.
You know, those are my favorite, the Japanese or the Hana.
Yes, the Hana too, those are delicious. Yeah, they get all gooey and bubbly. Yeah.
I feel bad some people can't get them.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. They're not available everywhere. Yeah, so I kind of alternate between like rice, quinoa, or potatoes for my carbohydrate sources. And then I do tofu, tempeh, or seitan for a little extra protein. And then I do like beans, lentils, also very important. And then just tons of vegetables, fruits. So I just try to keep it really balanced.
Sounds good. Are you, do you still lift weights a lot?
I do, yeah. Yeah, weightlifting, huge part of my life. I love it. Getting stronger, building muscle. It's really important for everybody, I think. As we age, we lose muscle, and it's so important to stay strong so that you prevent injuries later in life. And it's really an amazing feeling to be strong physically, and it also helps your mental strength. So for me, working out is like a form of meditation. It's a form of stress relief. And, you know, lifting heavier weights and challenging yourself in the gym makes you also mentally tough also. So it kind of plays out in other parts of your life. And my husband is a strength coach, so he trains out of a gym, and he helps me out too with my workouts. Okay, so our tofu is almost done.
Just guys, if you're available at 1 p.m., I'm doing a free webinar. I posted the link in the chat box. It's not being recorded. So it's today or never.
Summit that you did not too long ago.
Yeah, thanks. It's on Zoom. It's not on YouTube and it won't be recorded. But for people that missed the Forks Over Knives, this is your opportunity to see it again.
Oh, nice. Definitely recommend those. They're so informational.
Yeah, thank you. Let's see. I like this. You're welcome, Yasmin, for the shows. Calories, potatoes have only 1 calorie per gram. So they're one of the lowest calorie foods you can eat.
Yeah. Very nutrient dense and filling.
Mandy says, do you have a home gym?
I do have a kind of one, yeah. Actually, my husband and I found those adjustable dumbbells, and they've been amazing. We got a set that goes up to 90 pounds. It's right here in the corner. We have a bench, and we have some kettlebells, and it has everything we need for a good home workout.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been hard for a lot of people to stay fit since everything's shut down, gyms are closed. It's tough, but if you have just a little bit of equipment, you really can get a great workout in. And actually, at the beginning of the pandemic, we came out with a sort of a home workout program that you can do with all body weight. You can add weights if you have them, but it's completely body weight, and it's great. So we have that on our website. So, yeah.
Lynn says, I ate my first purple sweet potato last night. It was delicious. Didn't have to put anything on it. Man, it's a game changer. When I had my first hand of yam in Japanese at True North, I don't know, maybe close to 10 years ago, my life changed for the better forever. That's all I want to eat now. It's what I eat pretty much every day for lunch.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, they're so good and filling, and they're so sweet too.
Yeah.
Really sweet. Okay, so I'm just putting together the bowl a little bit while we wait for the tofu. So I've got my cucumber here, and we're going to do some carrots. So shredded carrots are very easy. They kind of make it, very fast, but you can also cut whole carrots if you want, steam those too.
Marcy says, did you put any water or anything in the pan to cook the tofu?
I didn't, but you can. And if you absolutely have to, you can use cooking spray, just a little dash of that. But water and broth are excellent swaps for cooking without oil. I don't put any oil on my clients' plans just because it's hard to control. It's easy to overdo. And it's good for health reasons as well. So I encourage them to use water and broth for sauteing and cooking instead.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Who was your greatest influence on becoming a vegan?
Oh boy. My husband started it, so I kind of was just like, okay, let's try this. I'm tired of cooking meat anyway, so I'm sick of it. I was totally down to give it a shot. So he was the one who kind of, inspired me to try it also with him. He was feeling so great. And then, we both got into a lot of documentaries, Forks Over Knives. That was out at the time, and various YouTube channels. So just really doing a lot of research and seeing what was out there, and going to the Main Street Vegan Academy. That was huge, and showing me like, wow, I can really do something with this, and help others also transition if they want to.
Nice. Is he home?
He will be home shortly.
I'd love to meet him if he gets home before 12 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, he should be coming home. Yeah. All right. So tofu just about done. Okay. So yeah, you just want that nice golden brown color on all sides. So when it's golden brown, you just flip it until it's cooked. Okay. So I'm going to do my edamame and broccoli. There's my dog.
Well, we had a pigeon on. There's no reason we can't have a dog. I don't know if you'll be able to put him on your shoulder, though.
I don't think so. They would love the food, though. They love anything that we cook. My dogs love vegetables. So here is the broccoli and edamame on there. Feel free to go crazy with the broccoli, the greens. I mean, all good for you. I always tell my clients, you know, eat your vegetables freely. It's just, they're so nutrient dense and filling. And I just love adding so much color to your plate. It's so important.
That's right. Oh, so Jennifer says that she bought the chickenless seasoning at Trader Joe's and never used it. Now she has a reason to. So terrific.
Oh, perfect. It's so good. And I just love things that are easy to like throw on there. You don't need any, just one, all in one. It's salt, onion powder, spices. They don't specify which ones. Turmeric and garlic powder. So
do you like balsamic vinegar?
Oh, yeah.
Good, because Thomas Allen from California Balsamic is watching live. He's in Ukiah, and where it snowed last night, all the guests that live in the United States get 2 small free bottles of the flavor of their choice. And that might be a good to drizzle over this.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, like especially a flavor like teriyaki or ginger. One of those flavors would be really delicious.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and balsamic is another way to add flavor to your foods. Any vinegar, rice vinegar is great for like Asian dishes. Yeah, great way to finish a meal.
Because Betty says, what kind of sauce would you add on top of that dish? It looks dry.
So yeah, we're going to get to that. Don't worry. I'll give you 1 second. So one way that you can add flavor is some avocado. This is good for satiety and adding some healthy fats. Definitely adds tons of flavor and just really makes all the flavors pop. So we're going to add that. Dish. And then we're going to do the toppings. It's going to be fun. Okay, so.
You know, what you're doing, you know, I don't go to restaurants very often and they haven't even been open anyway. But when I did go to a restaurant, I always would go to what's called a poke bowl restaurant. And that's kind of what you're making in a way.
Exactly. Yeah. It's very similar. Yeah.
So people could choose their own starch and because they had a choice of white rice, brown rice, wild rice, and you could just pick any of the vegetables you wanted.
Oh, so good. I love that customization. And that's the thing. It's so easy. Like you can take a rice and you can do jasmine rice, brown rice, wild rice, and then you can swap the edamame for pinto beans, black beans, garbanzos. I mean, it's so easy to swap out the main components and create so much variety in your diet.
You know, the possibilities are endless, and then you never get bored.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about. You want to keep it simple, but you want to keep it, you know, flavorful and, you know, anything. The healthy lifestyle is about something that you can stick to and make sustainable for you. And so it's really important to find things that you like eating, and to find a way that's going to make it simple for you. And that's why meal prep comes in so handy, because it really simplifies things. Okay, so I have some green onions. I'm just putting that on top. And then I'm going to put the ginger. You can also do kimchi. It's a little bit different of a flavor, but also good prebiotics. Okay, and then I have this wonderful, again, from Trader Joe's. It is a multi-purpose Japanese seasoning, and it's seaweed and sesame seeds all in one. Or you can do it separately. I've got these roasted sesame seeds right here. That adds a ton of flavor. And then I have some seaweed here too. So that's really the sushi component, is making you want that seaweed. So we're just going to crumble that on. Got some sesame seeds.
That looks amazing. Looks better than any restaurant I've been to.
It's so good. I'm telling you, my clients love it. I have it like almost on all my clients' plants because they just love it. And I eat it a couple times a week as well. And I've got some sriracha right here. So add some hot sauce. That'll add a little kick. And you are done. So I hope you can see that. It's so good. It's colorful. It's so flavorful. It's just, the depth of flavor is amazing. So I just turned a bowl of plain rice, tofu, and vegetables into this beautiful, nutritious, tasty meal.
That is spectacular. And it just looks so inviting. And like, even if you weren't a plant-based eater, who wouldn't want to eat that, you know?
Yes, exactly. Anyone can, enjoy this. So yeah, I'm just about, keeping it fun and simple and flavorful.
Well, your partner from MSVA, Stacy, goes, yum. Wow. That's how I feel about it too.
Oh, Stacy, yeah. I just saw her show too. It was amazing.
Yeah, you guys are very talented. Victoria picked you guys out. I mean, because I turned out I only knew one of you guys that were, and so she did a great choice. Yeah,
Victoria's amazing, and she has so many great guests to learn from at the academy, and it's just mind blowing.
What was your favorite part of the academy?
Oh man, the group of people that I was there with were awesome. I just met some amazing people. The presenters that taught us so many things about the vegan lifestyle were incredible. I think one of my favorite parts was Fran, who did a dessert demo for us. That was awesome because she taught us the art of the food demo. And I'm a big chocolate person, so it was really cool to meet her. So just meeting all the wonderful people. Victoria is such a good teacher. She's so patient and kind, and I just love her energy. And even after the academy, we're still all connected, and we have this wonderful network of people. So,
well, it sounds great, and she's going to be the guest on Sunday to wrap it up, or to wrap it all up. So if people have questions, I'm sure she'll be able to answer them.
Perfect. Yes.
Yeah. Well, do you guys have any more questions for Jaré before I let her go to eat that delicious bowl? I was hoping, did the dogs bark because your husband came home?
No, they just hear random noises. They will bark if he does come home, though. Yes.
Oh, we were hoping to meet him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are all the restaurants closed in LA?
No, not technically. They have takeout options, but on Friday, actually, they're opening outdoor dining again. So that's exciting.
Yeah, because that they do that. I remember they had a lot of vegan restaurants in LA.
Oh, there's so many good ones. Like when we moved out here, because we moved down here from the Bay Area, and there are some options there, but LA is just like a whole other level. I mean, just incredible food.
Which were your favorites, or which are your favorites?
Oh man, let's see. I love Pura Vita. It's this amazing vegan Italian restaurant in West Hollywood. There is Nick's on Beverly. They have an amazing menu. One of my favorites is a place called.
Is that one dog or two? No, we interrupt the show due to barking. So guys, 1 p.m. there's a link to the webinar. It's not being recorded. You can wear your pajamas because you won't be seen on screen. It'll just be me and my slides.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Is that one dog or two?
That's two.
Yeah, I was going to say, because that's quite a bark. What kind of dog do you have? Asks Nancy.
They are Jack Russell.
Ah, he's handsome.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. How you guys doing?
Good. Wow. Well, wow. So you want to talk to us a little bit and tell us who you are in this wonderful duo?
Yeah. Well, I'm Saul Cervantes, and obviously you guys met my beautiful wife, Jaré. Just got home from work. I do strength training for my clients, and we also have a YouTube channel. It's Spidey Fit. We love superheroes. So,
Well, who's your favorite superhero?
Spider-Man.
Ah. Yeah. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
That's hard.
I can tell you mine. Mine would be to know what everybody's thinking.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't be flying.
Yeah, flying would be a close one because I just hate being in cars.
I guess just having superhuman strength. that's the ability to, I guess that's why I strength train, so that I can be as strong as I possibly can. But just having that is so empowering. And so for me, I believe that we all have a superhero power within us, whether that's inspiring other people, helping people go plant-based, being a strength coach. So I think we all have something to bring to the table. So when someone asks me a question like superhero power, it's like, yeah, it's cool to fly or be able to hear other people or be able to, get their thoughts or whatever. But I think like we all have something unique about us that we can all, bring something to the table and be that superhero for someone else. And that's kind of what our business is about, heroic strength. It's about inspiring others and helping others achieve their health and fitness goals through strength training and, plant-based nutrition or just overall good nutrition and having them to be the best version of themselves. And that's kind of why we built this business. We get inspired by superheroes. And so I believe that there's a lot of people out there that watch these celebrities and they're like, wow, like how'd they do that? And so we want to help them be able to do that with our approach. And
Yeah. How's your Achilles tendon these days?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I wake up sometimes in the morning and I feel a little stiff. But after like 5 minutes or so, I think it just feels better. But
I was telling him how quickly he healed.
Well, I was going to say, without that Achilles tendon injury, you guys might not be here today. I mean, you'd be here, but you wouldn't be here.
Right. Yeah, it kind of led us towards that path. Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of started. One of my clients back in the Bay Area where we used to live, she challenged me in going vegetarian for like a month. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm doing this whole, vegetarian diet for about a month. And at the time I was like, why are you cutting foods out of your diet? Like just eat better. And so she's like, no, this is clean. So I was like, okay, you know what, I'll try it with you. And so I did it for about a month and then it just kept going and going and going. And then I think it was October, after like 6 months or so, I was almost ready to kind of like go back to eating meat. And then I ruptured my Achilles tendon. I was doing a stunt and I heard a snap, went to the hospital. Yeah, I was ruptured, saw my surgeon a few days later, and he told me, hey, if you want the inflammation to go down, stop eating meat, dairy, and just go vegan for like a whole week. So just kind of amped the recovery. And I was like, okay, if this is going to help me get better, I might as well just eat this way. So after a week or so, I started feeling a lot better. Obviously, I was still in pain. And then, but my skin looked better. My sleep was better as well. And so I kept it up. And I told Jaré, I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to keep this. At the time, we had a bunch of like, dairy, like yogurts and stuff. And she had just gotten to the store. She's like, what am I going to do with all this? It's crazy. Like, you want to go vegan now? I was like, yeah, I want to go vegan. She's like, but I can't eat all this yogurt. I'm like, just throw it away. She's like, I can't just throw it away. And so it was.
I'm not one to waste food, so that's why I kind of delayed my vegan because I was vegetarian for a while. So finished it all up and.
Well, did you ever get in touch with that surgeon and thank him? Because I'm curious how he knew that, because you don't hear that a lot from doctors that look to heal to avoid animal products.
Yeah, that's everyone will ask me that, and I was like, well,
you should like reach out to him.
Yeah. He was at the time San Jose State's I guess surgeon for football players, athletes, and so one of my colleagues told me about him. He's really good at what he does, and I usually go on bike rides with him. He was a local, and so I was like, okay, and I trusted him. So I actually went back to him like 6 months after I ruptured my Achilles, and because I was kind of doing my own rehab, and I told him, I was like, hey, I went plant-based, and it's helped. I'm running up this mountain now, and I'm sprinting up this hill, and I can do it. And he told me that it would take me a year or so to do this, and I did it in half the time, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So he's in San Jose, the surgeon?
He's in San Jose, yeah.
Well, try to find him. Let's have him on the show and thank him for being so smart.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I know that sound of a ruptured tendon because you can see I don't know if you can see my finger, it never got better and I was too afraid to have surgery. But I remember when I went like this and it's like, you hear that, it's not good when you hear that sound in your body anywhere. It's not a sound you want to hear.
So loud.
And it hurt too, I remember. So yeah, that's great. What's the name of your YouTube channel? People want to know. And if you could show the bowl again.
Oh, yeah. So channel is Spidey Fit, and it's all mostly, there's a bowl. closer probably. So like right there.
There you go.
So
We got the
edamame, ginger.
seaweed.
Yeah, the rice is down there.
Yeah, rice.
See, that's incredible. And that's why people think that I just feel so bad for people that go on diets and weigh and measure their food. They don't understand that they can eat that much food and be lean if you eat the right food.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, it's we did you tell them about our bodybuilding days? Kind of how we used to eat that way.
Yeah, I told them we used to eat a lot of meats, and we were meal prepping all the time. We ate like 5 or 6 meals a day, but it was mostly very plain, like rice, broccoli, chicken, like several times a day.
The secret to Hollywood physique is chicken, rice, and broccoli, by the way. So
that's how we learn our meal prep skills, and that's what I pass on to my clients now because it works. And it helps keep you on track. But you can kind of adapt that, obviously, to plant-based, and also adding a little bit of flavor, keeping it fun, which creates a meal like this. So
yeah.
Where did you purchase the bowl? There's a question.
I don't know.
I think it was Amazon, right?
Probably
Maybe.
online or just the basic one. These are great because they fit a lot of food. They look nice. So.
Yeah.
And Dina would like to know, how did you guys meet? Because everybody's looking for somebody like your husband. Not everybody, but the single females are looking for a handsome vegan man. So how did you guys meet? And when you switched to veganism, did either of you lose weight?
Okay, that's a good question.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah.
Well, we'll answer the weight loss one real quick. I lost a lot of fluff. Like I was leaner, but I had this like fluff. I don't know if that makes sense. And so when I went vegan, I was visually like leaner. I just lost some of the fat that was really hard to get rid of. And I think that was honestly dairy and just maybe inflammation.
See, the thing is, like, she was lean, but I think she had the fluff. Like, I could see her cheeks were just a little more like swollen, and she just looked different. So as soon as she started eating more plant-based, I realized that I just saw like a little difference, and her skin was a little more glowy, I guess. But for me, I did lose a lot of weight actually initially because I wasn't eating enough for, I think that's one of the biggest things for any diet, I think, transitioning, right? Like whether that's a keto diet or anything, because you're trying to figure out what actually works. But for me, it was like, am I eating enough protein for what I'm doing? I'm pretty active, 5 days a week I'm weightlifting or doing something. And so it took a lot of trial and error, honestly. And then eventually, and I told her, I was like, she bought me a book about, what was it, Meats for Pussies?
John Joseph. Meat is for pussies. Yep.
And so I read the whole book and I was like, I like it, but I'm not going to eat 60 grams of protein a day because I'm very active. I'm going to lose more. And I tried it and I was like, I was like, I'm losing more muscle than I'm actually maintaining. And so I upped my protein, but not nearly as enough as I was eating when I was eating a lot of meat when I was on a bodybuilding diet back in 20. It's been 5 years, right? Yeah. So like,
and I'm sure you saw game changers, and now you can be as strong as you want on a plant-based diet.
For sure, yes. It just comes down to eating enough. So you want to make sure you're eating enough calories, eating enough. Like AJ, you have your story with the starches, like adding those back into your diet. So you want to eat lots of fruits and veggies, but also have enough of those calorie-dense foods too.
Yeah.
And did we talk about where you met yet?
Oh no. So do you want to tell the story?
Yeah. So it was the last day of work. I had seen her at this kind of company get together, and so
we met at work.
And so she caught my eye because she bumped her head on like a little light chandelier kind of thing that was like pretty low. And so it was so loud, and I felt bad. I looked at it, I was like, hey, it's cool. Like I did that earlier when I was setting up, and then someone told me that she had asked about me, and so I went up to her and I was putting stuff away, and it was towards the end of the party or whatever, and I asked her if she can help me with the table. I was like, hey, can you help me, put this in the back? And so then I started talking to her there, and I was like, hey, what's my last day of work? At the time, I was going to be an EMT. I went to school for that, and so I asked her for her number, and a couple of days later, we went on a date, and the rest is history.
Oh, wow. Nice. Do you find with your clients, because you guys are plant-based and you look so good, that influences them to at least try plant-based?
Oh, for
I
sure.
think so, yeah.
I think they're amazed that we're still able to build muscle and look good and
Be strong.
be strong. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely a strength because I really got into like lifting heavier over the last few years, and I wanted to make a point to people that in that community, they think that you have to eat so much red meat and
Yeah.
in order for you to be strong. But I've been able to get strong, if not stronger than I've ever been, on a plant-based diet, and that's kind of what I wanted to do when I kind of got into that community of weightlifting. But
We're very determined to break that stereotype of like vegans are weak and small and they can't build muscle, they can't be healthy. So we're very determined to spread that message. Since we work out and we're active, we like to be strong and athletic. So we want to show how you can do that on a plant-based diet.
I think everybody just gets, like, wow, like you're vegan. Like,
Yeah.
I've been accused of like using steroids. They're like, well, you must be doing something else. Like, I'm like, no, I'm eating more carbs. And yeah, people are like, no, you must be doing something else. Like, no, I just train and eat healthy. And we do have our cheat meals, by the way.
I was telling him we like pura vida.
Pura Vita's good. Chef, what's her name?
I can't think of her name.
She's great.
We also go to this wonderful restaurant that has all vegan Mexican food. It's called El Cocinero. Amazing, very authentic. So we love going there. So we kind of choose a place to go. Like once a week, we'll go out and have like a cheat meal. So
we also make some pasta here at home. She'll make like a cheesy pasta where it's like beefless crumbles, and we load it up with like Miyoko's cheese or anything. And so we'll just have that if you want to stay at home, and like a vegan sausage, have a little glass of wine or whiskey, and do that every now and then, but it's all about balance, really. It's just people talk about, it's balance, it's all moderation, but really, I'm not sure she really talked about that, but it's about kind of understanding and knowing your why and why you're doing this in the first place, right?
Yeah.
So for us, for me, it's like, I want to live longer. I want to be able to one day have kids, be able to play with my kids. I don't want to be stiff. I don't want to be weak. I want to be the best I can be for my kid, and inspire them too. Because my mom used to work out. She used to bring me to the gym, and I'd bring my action figures and I'd sit there, wait for her to work out. And I think that was a big part of me also, because working out and seeing her do that more so than my dad. So I think if I can do that, we can do that for our kid in the future. I think it's the best thing we can do for them, and obviously teach them how to eat plant-based.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you guys for the work you do. It was a pleasure to meet you. Maybe you'll come back and do something with what you do, Saul, show us some of yours.
Yeah, what do you guys want to see? Comment down below. Let us know.
Maybe you could show, I don't know, maybe you can show how you work out, or I don't know, or maybe you can make a recipe.
She's good. I mean, I can make something.
Well, it's great meeting you. Thank you so much for being on the show. And thanks all of you guys for watching another episode of Chef AJ Live. Please come back tomorrow for day 4 of the graduates of the Main Street Vegan Academy. Thanks so much, guys. Take care.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.